GF25 AR-15 style shotgun. I had two of these from the same company. I had a GF99, which we did some videos on, and this GF25. Now, to make it short, let me tell you what I found that was wrong. Okay, first off, on both of them there's this adjustable cheek rest that if you had an optic sight you could adjust this. On both models, in firing, the little knob here got loose, and actually if you're not paying attention, the whole unit, the screw will come out and then it'll all drop off. So what I do is I just go and drop a Loctite on the one nut or the little threads and just leave it in place. This gun, everything was fine, except if you go to my disassembly video, you will see where it comes to getting the op handle out here, or this cocking handle. You'd have to slide the mechanism back and line up the T and then just supposedly pull it out, and there's a detent in there. And it's a wedge that locks the bolt to the carrier. The only real problem I had in terms of quality or anything was obvious, and you won't see it on the disassembly, is to get that out I had to put pliers, and I mean yank that handle out. And after assembling, reassembling, and then I'd have to give it a tap with a mallet to get it in. It appears, and this does lock the bolt to the mechanism that rides there, the carrier mechanism, whatever. So you don't want it loose and you don't want it coming out. And I've seen videos where this style gun, that handle will come out, which isn't good. So I believe it was kind of loose, that little T-slot that is on that carrier, and then the bolt goes in there and goes through and locks into that. It appears it was like bashed or something. And when you push it in and it slides up over the detent, it was binding towards the end of that little tongue that goes in there. And I had to file it to where now I can work it loose with my hand. I had to actually file the handle. Okay. Alright, so it was this little cheek piece on this particular gun. Okay, now all my other semi-autos, the thing pops in and out with just pulling on it with your hand. That was a little off. And on these here, these do have the adjustable chokes, and I find the adjustable chokes are flimsy, kind of don't really line up. You know, when you look down the barrel, you can see where it's locked in. It's not the other way around, protruding into the barrel, it's out. So, you know, it doesn't harm anything, but I kind of don't like the quality level of the adjustable chokes. Oh, and the other thing I omitted, I'm going to slide this in. This particular model has that castle nut which holds the whole mechanism into the receiver, and there's a spanner wrench. If you're the type of person that loses accessories, I would not get one like this, because the spanner wrench and that, you know, you got to keep track of it, and it is kind of a pain. This one's a tad bit more difficult to disassemble than some of the other models. Alright, and that's about the only other negative thing on there, is not so much that the design is wrong, but it's just people lose the wrench or cross-thread them fine threads, and that you can damage the receiver if you're not careful in assembly and disassembly. And that's about all I found wrong with this. This gun functions fine. It does have that different gas system, so it kind of works robust. A lot of people said it was over-gassing. At first, like all of them, it fired most ammunition going up about 1,350 feet per second for 2 3/4 inch. 3 inch, don't be fooled. 3 inch shells will have a lower velocity, but they're launching a lot more lead. Like a 2 3/4 load number 4 buck will have 20 some pellets, 27. but a 3-inch mag load of number 4 buck will have over 40 pellets. And the speed or velocity on the box is how they list the power of your ammo, will be lower. 3 inches do work in this gun. Okay, 2 3/4. I was found that most of these semi-automatic Turkish guns didn't like them unless they were doing 13.5. But after my last video, my last run where I run the drum and that in here, it'll cycle with those low-powered Fioshis. Kind of barely. They all cycle. They might not lock the bolt back, I think on the last one with the clip, but it did cycle them after, I guess, like people say, after a bit of a break-in, getting close to 100 rounds through. But see, that's another thing, you know, guys. These guns don't cost that much, and it's very easy to run more shot shell ammunition to this gun, fooling around with them, than what you paid for the gun itself. Okay. But both of the Gforce AR-15 styles worked well for me. Function, nothing unusual. This one too, it worked. I went hone the barrel on this one, and there's still spots of some weird stuff, so I don't know. Their barrel quality isn't the best in the world, but that's why you're getting these guns for a highly discounted price nowadays. Okay, but they do shoot, they do function, and they pattern well depending on the ammo. Like with any shotgun, you have to find a certain brand or type of ammo, and it may pattern much better than any other. So that's just goes with any shotgun. Personally, you know, and again, I've had no issues with this one or the GF99, so I can't really say nothing to detract from them, but I will tell you to be warned, because I've seen several other videos out there where people were firing this style of gun. I don't know if it's the exact model, but AR-15 style, and they're all very similar. And they were out shooting them, they worked fine, they didn't do nothing strange. And I've seen where there were a couple catastrophic failures, where the one guy he just fired the gun and the whole lower receiver, which is made out of polymer, just broke apart on him. My opinion is the gun fired out of battery, okay? And the issue may have been, with all of these, you have to be careful. There's this lever, even on, I'm going to look into it on the bullpup. This lever, you have to turn down this polymer follower. Once you get the bolt back, you would push this down, and then you can disassemble the gun. That may have been damaged, okay, and created that, where the gun would not close, but I believe it fired out of battery, which caused that. I can't prove that. And I did see one video where a guy had the whole upper half of an AR-15 style come loose. Again, don't remember what model it is. Some people have had things go wrong with them, but so far with me, with both of these guns, this one and the other one, I haven't had any issues. If that will hold through for another couple hundred, 200-300 rounds, I don't know. But you know, they're getting about, these went from like $550, and you can get them now for like $199, which is less than half the retail price. And if this is something you're interested in, they are neat, they handle well, it's a whole different class of gun, okay? If this is to your liking, you know, I can't say nothing terrible about these. But then again, like I said, beware. I've had some of them that, you know, that pump, people love that thing, $100 gun, but I had issues with mine, okay? That's just the territory you're in. But those are my thoughts on these here. They are pretty cool. You might have to shop around and get a drum that will fit in here and work well. The one I have did. I think the ammunition kind of did me in, was malfunctioning. But other than that, drum I had. And look at my drum videos. I explain it all there. Alright guys, so that's my call on it. I'm going to say, you know, if it's something, give it a shot. You know, you'll get lucky like me maybe and not have any problems. Then again, there's people that have a whole bunch of problems with them. Alright, so that's going to be it for the AR-15s for a while. I may get another model in here to check. I may not. But that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.